Imagine spending your entire life working, paying into a system that promises to take care of you one day, only to find out that the timing of one simple decision could change your entire retirement. That decision? When you choose to claim your Social Security. Most people think, why wait? After all, the moment you hit 62, those checks are finally yours. You've earned them. But here's the catch. Claiming early slashes your lifetime payments by nearly 30%. And that cut isn't temporary. It's permanent. Now flip that around. If you hold off until age 70, your monthly income doesn't just increase a little, it jumps about 30% higher for the rest of your life. That could mean hundreds, even thousands of extra dollars every single month. Think about it. Same job, same years worked, same effort, but one person ends up with far more money simply because they waited. It sounds like a no-brainer. So why do most people still rush to collect early? Because behind that smart financial move lies a harsh truth. And it's not about math. It's about survival. A new survey from Schroders just exposed something shocking. And honestly, it says a lot about where America is right now. Out of 1,500 working adults surveyed, 9 out of 10 said they have no plans to wait until 70 to claim Social Security. They know waiting would give them more money, but they're still not doing it. Only 10% of Americans say they'll hold off until age 70. Meanwhile, nearly half, 44%, plan to grab their benefits before they even reach the full retirement age of 67. Let that sink in. Most people are willingly walking away from what could be tens of thousands of dollars over their lifetime, and they're not doing it out of ignorance. According to the researchers, Americans understand exactly what's at stake. They just don't believe they can afford to wait. The survey even found that 70% of people know waiting means higher payments, yet they still won't do it. So this isn't about people being careless. It's a reflection of something deeper, a kind of quiet desperation that's spreading through the workforce. Because when you're living paycheck to paycheck, the idea of waiting for a bigger payout later starts to sound like a luxury only the rich can afford. But what if this decision, the one almost everyone's making, reveals a much bigger problem? That's where things get uncomfortable, and where the real story begins. Deb Boyden from Schroders put it perfectly. It's not an oversight, it's survival. Most Americans aren't skipping the best Social Security strategy because they don't understand it. They're skipping it because they can't afford not to. Think about the average worker right now. Prices are up, wages barely move, and retirement savings are shrinking faster than anyone expected. Millions of people are entering their 60s with almost nothing set aside, maybe a few thousand in a 401k, maybe less. So when that Social Security check finally becomes available at 62, it feels like oxygen. For many, it's the only lifeline keeping the bills paid, the fridge stocked, and the lights on. It's not that they're making a bad financial choice, it's that they don't have a choice at all. Boyden says most workers understand the math perfectly. They know that waiting means more money, but they also know that later doesn't pay rent and someday doesn't fill prescriptions. It's a brutal reality. People aren't ignoring financial advice, they're being forced to choose survival over strategy, and for millions of Americans nearing retirement, that's not just a short-term fix. It's a ticking time bomb for their future. Because as more people cash out early, something else is quietly collapsing behind the scenes. And it's the very system they're relying on to survive. Here's the part no one wants to admit. It's not just about needing the money now. It's about not trusting the system to still be there later. Ask around, and you'll hear it everywhere. People say things like, "I'd better take it now before the money runs out," or "Social Security won't even exist by the time I hit 70. And honestly, it's not hard to see why so many believe that. Reports show Social Security's trust funds are on track to run dry by 2034, just 9 years from now. That means the program would no longer have enough incoming cash to pay everyone in full. For the average person, That headline alone sounds terrifying. It fuels the fear that if they wait too long, they'll get nothing. But here's the twist most people don't realize. Even if the trust funds become insolvent, Social Security won't disappear. Payments would still continue, just at a 20% reduced rate. So yes, there's a real problem. But it's not the total collapse people imagine. It's a slow cut that could hit the middle class hardest. Still, that fear runs deep. It's emotional, not logical. Because when the government warns that a system billions depend on might not hold, trust breaks instantly. And when trust fades, patience disappears, pushing millions to grab their benefits early, even if it means losing out in the long run. But this fear doesn't exist in a vacuum. There's another layer, one that's far more dangerous. Because while Americans panic about losing money, the people in power already have a plan. The biggest misconception about Social Security is that if the trust funds go broke, the payments just stop. That's not true. But it's exactly what millions of people believe. Even if Congress does nothing, the system would still be able to pay about 80% of promised benefits from ongoing payroll taxes. But here's the catch. That missing 20% would hit retirees like a hammer. For someone expecting $2,000 a month, that's a sudden $400 gone permanently. So why doesn't Washington fix it? Experts say the solution is right there. Raise the income cap on the payroll tax. Right now, workers only pay Social Security taxes on the first $176,100 they earn. Every dollar above that, completely untaxed. That means a millionaire pays the same Social Security tax as someone making $176K, while the system runs out of money. For years, lawmakers have talked about fixing this, but every debate ends the same way. Political gridlock. One side says raising the cap punishes success. The other says not doing it punishes the middle class. And while they argue, the clock keeps ticking. Meanwhile, Americans watching from the sidelines feel abandoned. They're told to wait longer and trust the process, while every headline screams the opposite. So can the system be saved before that 2034 deadline? Technically, yes. But emotionally, most people have already given up hope. And that loss of faith is doing something even more dangerous than insolvency. It's changing how Americans think about retirement entirely. Here's where the numbers get painfully real. According to Schroders, non-retired Americans say they'll need about $5,032 a month to live comfortably once they stop working. But in reality, today's retirees are only bringing in around $3,250 on average. That's a $182 gap every single month, and it's not getting smaller. Now think about that gap stretched across a lifetime. That's not just tight budgeting, that's skipped vacations, unpaid medical bills, and choosing between groceries and rent. And for younger generations, the outlook is even bleaker. A Goldman Sachs report found that 3 out of 4 younger workers can't save for retirement because their paychecks are already swallowed up by rent, groceries, and student loans. It's no longer just about discipline or planning. It's about survival in an economy that feels rigged against you. So when people hear financial experts say, just wait until you're 70, it sounds tone deaf. How do you wait when your savings are running on fumes? How do you delay when every month feels like a fight to stay afloat? That's the harsh truth behind those survey numbers. It's not that Americans are careless, they're cornered. And when millions of people feel trapped by the same financial system that promised to protect them, something much bigger starts to break. Because behind the statistics, there's a deeper story, one about faith, fear, and the growing sense that the American dream may no longer include retirement at all. Now pause for a moment and imagine yourself in their shoes. You've worked decades, paid your taxes, followed the rules, and yet the system still feels stacked against you. You know that waiting just a few more years could change your life. An extra $500, $1,000 a month, locked in for the rest of your retirement. But every day you wait, bills pile up. Rent, groceries, medical costs. They won't wait for you to get smarter with your money. It's a gut-wrenching choice, patience versus immediate survival. And most people aren't choosing based on spreadsheets or calculators. They're choosing based on fear, necessity, and a sense that the future is uncertain. It raises a question few want to ask themselves. If you knew waiting could dramatically improve your future, would you have the strength to wait? Or would fear push you to take what you can get today? This is more than a financial decision. It's a reflection of a generation trapped between rising costs, stagnant wages, and a system that's supposed to protect them but often feels like it doesn't. And here's the kicker. The people who do wait, the 10% who hold out until 70, may be the exception, not the rule. It's a harsh reality, but it also tells us something important about human behavior. When the stakes feel high and the safety net feels weak, even the smartest plans can crumble. So here's the big question. If almost everyone is making the same choice, taking their Social Security early, who really wins? The system is designed to reward patience, yet fear, necessity, and distrust are driving millions to grab what they can now. That's not just a personal decision. It's a sign of a bigger problem in America's financial future. And think about this. The people who wait, who hold out until 70, are stacking up a secret advantage. It's a quiet, powerful edge that most will never see because they didn't have the patience, the means, or the trust to wait. So ask yourself, would you be willing to wait, knowing that just a few more years could dramatically improve your life? Or would you take the money and run, like most Americans do? Because the answer to that question doesn't just reveal your financial strategy. It reveals your instincts, your courage, and how prepared you are to face the uncertain road ahead. And the truth is, in a country where 9 out of 10 people are making the same choice, the decision to wait or take it now may define the next generation's financial legacy.